Welcome to We Geek podcast. If you're listening to this, it is Wednesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. My name is Adam, and my buddy.
Logan, hello.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, no. At first I didn't think there was going to be that much news the last 2 weeks, and then they dropped a lot on us. That will probably pick
Today,
up.
yeah.
Right. Of all days, today, exactly. And we also have a lot of news that might potentially be for, on Wednesday when this goes live. I guess we can get into it. The Nintendo news. We started last week with Nintendo. We might as well do it this week.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, right. I actually thought this was going to be an April Fool's thing when I saw it, because it was like, oh, there's going to be one of Nintendo's Direct on April 1st. And let me say, I love Nintendo Directs. I don't think any other company does it that well when they're just like, hey, we're just going to release stuff to our audience. And we don't need, E3 or this or that to do it. We can just talk to them directly, and people kind of tune in, which I think is really cool. Or at least people who are kind of like on the internet like we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's so much stuff there. Now, we should say this before because you're hearing us talking on Tuesday, but we're recording this on Tuesday. You're hearing this on Wednesday, so this is all kind of like rumor. So odds are this is probably what's going to happen, which would be really cool. And we'll just talk about this rumor. If it's going to happen, that'd be great. If not, then we'll find out real soon. But like some of the things stuck out to me, like I liked that I guess they're starting the new DNA thing. And that's what I took from it, is that they're starting this cross-buy, cross-play for the shop, for the eShop. And that's for Nintendo, Game Boy, and Super Nintendo games that should be released. Right, which would be really cool. Like I said, I'm still in the process of getting my 3DS. I want to get the new one. I went to GameStop the other day to pick up Bloodborne, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. I actually didn't get it from the shop, but I went in there and I was talking to the guy. I said, hey, I heard you guys got the new Majora Mask in, and they did, but it was somewhere like you have to order it. And you have to do a bundle where it was up there, like I think it's like $330, but you get like 2 Zelda games with it or something like that. I was just curious because I know they're hot right now.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe I'd get one and then just try to flip it. But not for that price. It's the price of a Wii. So yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about, because I went online and saw on eBay they were up there for sealed in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. The cross-buy, cross-save. Sony's been doing it. Nintendo has to do that. Is one of the things we talked about last week. We wanted with the new system, so hopefully we'll be getting it a lot sooner. I've never really played Paper Mario. Have you?
Oh yeah. Oh man, I was a huge Paper Mario fan. I haven't played the one for 3DS yet. It's like Paper Mario with stickers or something. That's one that I have to dive into. But I loved the original Paper Mario on 64. I've lost count of how many times I played that, and I played through the Thousand Year Door once for GameCube, and I got all the way to the end, and it was one of those things where you're almost done, and then you lose with you're like 2 hits away from beating that last boss, and I was like, I'm not going through all this again.
Oh wow!
It was one of those boss battles where it was just like, I can't do everything I just did again. I can't do it.
Now help me out for the uninitiated. I've never played Paper Mario. Is it turn-based like Mario RPG?
Yes. Paper Mario. The way it works, it's you and one partner, and it's you as Mario, and then you get assistant characters throughout the game. Each partner has their own power. Some of them are useful, some of them are useless, and some of them you have to pick depending on the enemy. You get to learn. I'll go back to the original Paper Mario, for example. You had a couple partners that would attack, like a stomp attack. You had a Paracoopa that was with you. His name was Parakarry, and he would do like a diving kick, and you also had little Goomba with you, and he would do like a head bonk kind of thing. If you were fighting a spiked enemy, of course those guys would be useless. They would get hurt and they would be out, 2 or 3 turns or whatever it was. So you had to kind of plan accordingly, and they carried that through to the Thousand Year Door as well. And it was a neat little kind of way to say, we know you guys really liked Super Mario RPG, so here's kind of a spiritual successor in a sense. And it was neat. It was neat. I really enjoyed it. I hope they're making another one. That would be awesome.
Well, that's cool. I mean, to me it doesn't sound anything like I'd like. I like classic Mario. Jump on their heads, stupid, play, the platformer.
Yeah.
But that's cool that it's there though. And it got me wondering, like, are we going to see, like, how the Wii had Galaxy? Are we going to see a game like that on the Wii U before they go to the NX, you think?
I don't know.
We haven't really seen that, have we? I mean, they have, what, Super Mario U World, or what's the one they have out there?
New Super Mario Brothers U, I think.
Right, exactly. But it's not in the main, like, Mario series, though, right?
No, remember a couple of years ago when they did just when it was just New Super Mario Brothers, and it was a return to the old school platformer style Mario. That's what this is. It's a Wii U version of that. It's their next one of like the old time. It's a Super Mario Brothers game instead of just a Super Mario game.
Right, and I kind of dig that. I mean, I think I even saw like a cat or something in it, some crazy shit Mario's doing these days. But yeah, that's the one with the cats, right? Like he's in a cat suit.
There was because I remember they had the Tanuki suit back, and there was, there was, this one was cats. That's right. I didn't use it much just because I didn't find it useful. But yeah, it was. I remember that was there. Yeah.
Right. See, sometimes I get moods, and I love to go and play the old school Mario games, especially Super Mario World. That has to be, I think, my favorite Mario game. I mean, the first one I played with my mom as like a really little kid. When she'd get home from work or whatnot, she'd pull us out. I bet wouldn't let my parents know, or wouldn't let my dad know, or maybe he did. I have no idea. I just knew my mom snuck me out of bed. We'd sit and watch, and she just play Mario. So I've always been a Mario fan, and I think Super Mario World on Super Nintendo is probably my favorite. Yeah. You got a favorite?
It would probably have to be Super Mario World too. It's close between that and 64, really.
One that I never played, but I thought would be. Anytime I see it, I'm like, that kind of looks cool. But when I play it, I'm like, it's not for me. It was called, I believe, Super Mario World Yoshi's Island, or Yoshi's Island, the one where you play Baby Mario.
Yeah, Yoshi's Island. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and like you shoot the eggs and whatnot. I saw someone play that before, and I was like, that looks really cool, but I never played it.
It was interesting. It was a little different way to look at it. It was a new way to come at the same characters and the same idea, and to even kind of introduce a little backstory to it, like, why Yoshi? Where did this thing come from? Well, now we know.
Oh, that's cool. That makes sense. Yeah, that's one thing Nintendo does. If they still pump out the same games, but they switch it up and they try new things, even if it doesn't do as good.
Yeah.
But yeah, some other stuff they had in it, like I think you can pre-order games.
They're finally doing that now. Yeah.
Yeah, where you get 10% off if, like, for example, you pre-order Splatoon, and it just downloads. And see, I don't own a Wii U, so I didn't know exactly how their eShop works. Like, if you could pre-order it, kind of like PlayStation, where you're supposed to get it that night, or midnight or whatnot. I think actually for Eastern time it's like 3 a.m. because they want to make sure you get the same time as the West Coast. But yeah, they had some deals on this rumor thing. I think it was like you can buy Super Mario 64 and you get Ocarina of Time for free, right? So it's like BOGO.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I mean, pretty sure most people listening to this probably played those games, but it's always cool to have it on the system. And if it's cross-buy, then that's fantastic. You can play it on your Wii U and your 3DS, or at least that's the hope.
Yeah. And it's, again, this was a weird thing that they announced, like, we're going to announce these on April 1st. And I thought, well, I don't know if Nintendo has, because it's not going to be April 1st there when they announce it, right?
Right, yeah.
It's going to be April 2nd in Japan when they actually do the conference, isn't it? The way that works.
Well, I think they actually do it during like normal time over here in America though, because I've always remembered the Nintendo Direct being like, not at a weird hour like it is over in Japan for us. So I'm not sure. Again, it's just a rumor. I just saw the link when someone posted it, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. And then, of course, today, which would be yesterday for those who are listening, they actually came out and said, oh, we're going to be doing one April 1st.
Yeah.
So,
and they were saying they're going to debut something about the new Star Fox, I think.
They're going to actually show some of it. I don't know how excited I am for Star Fox. I mean, Star Fox was cool when I played it on the 64. I would put on like Linkin Park and just veg out with it, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't own a Wii U. It'd be cool to see how they do the controls with it.
Yeah.
I mean, the last Star Fox game, wasn't it the one where they're like on the ground and it wasn't really Star Fox, it was some other franchise?
What was it, Star Fox Adventures? I think that might have been it.
Yeah, like some weird, they had like some licensing deal or something in it. I don't know, I didn't play it, but yeah, 64 was the last one I did, and it was great, it was fun. I know they re-released it on the 3DS recently, and it'd be cool to play the multiplayer in that game against friends. Remember those from fun times? Sleepovers with Star Fox. We had, what's the one with this is going to bother me. The one with the cars on PlayStation. Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal, yeah.
Yeah, and you take down the tower, every tower. It was a fun game. But, I don't know, was there any other news in there that stood out to you?
No.
Pokemon World Rumble, or Pokemon Rumble World. What exactly is that? Is that fighting game?
I have no idea. I didn't follow up on that one.
Right. Yeah. I normally don't pay attention to Pokemon unless it's the the main series.
Right.
Because all the other stuff honestly feels like iOS games, like what is it? You got a match 3 and whatnot. I forgot which one I saw in the store the other day. It was like you got to match the 3 Pokemon. It was like a puzzle game.
Was it Pokemon Shuffle?
Something like that. I'm not sure. For some reason, I'm thinking it started with a T.
It could have. I don't follow any of those.
Right. So what have you been playing this week?
This week, well, I sent back stuff to GameFly, and I'm waiting for the next things they're going to send me are Bravely Default, and one that I get in trouble because I don't know how to properly pronounce it. Theatrhythm. The Final Fantasy Symphonic one that they did, both of which are 3DS games. So my consoles are going to get a break this week.
Oh wow! So it's a Final Fantasy. Oh, okay, I see it here. Curtain Call.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's like a rhythm game.
Yeah, and I thought, well, that would be neat just because it's the music of Final Fantasy. Like, I'm always down for that.
Yeah. Bravely Default is. I haven't played it, but I hear so many people talking how good it is.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, if you like the classic Final Fantasy, man, I can't tell you how many podcasts or just people I've heard they praise that game. So, and it's long too. Like, I don't know if you read how long it is, but I hear it's pretty damn long.
No, but I think that's a good segue into our next little topic.
Oh, and what's that?
Speaking of ridiculously long games. We saw the news about The Witcher 3.
Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Let me go to my little... Oh, yeah, Witcher 3 is, holy crap, 200 plus hours long.
Yeah.
That is amazing for anyone who is a fan of, like, Skyrim and stuff. And actually, I really think this is going to be a lot of people's first time in the Witcher series. I just played around in the second one. It was cool. But I really think this is going to be the one that it's going to catch a lot of people. Just like I think Skyrim, that was the first Elder Scrolls for a lot of people.
Oh, big time. And I think and Fallout 3, for the same. I mean, obviously,
definitely.
3 was a bit different from the first two, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But no, just that idea. I know The Witcher 3 is going to be my first foray into this series. Like, I've just never really been excited, but I keep seeing stuff for this, and I'm thinking, yeah, I kind of have to try this.
Right. I kind of wish they just took the number 3 off of it, just so people would not go, "Oh, that's the third one. Do I have to play the first two?" You
Yeah,
know.
because how many people forgot it was actually Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and
It,
they just went, oh yeah, Skyrim, okay, cool.
exactly. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, and that's what this is the game I've been telling some of my friends who like they played Skyrim and they loved it, and I'm like, wait for The Witcher. They want a good RPG, and there hasn't, to me, there hasn't been anything crazy. I mean, we've had
Well, we had,
Inquisition that
yeah,
came out, but I mean, the they want they want that Skyrim itch, and that didn't do it for me. It's a different kind of game, and so I mean, The Witcher 2 is going to be a really different kind of game than Skyrim, but I think it's going to be close. At least I hope. That's the hope. When I was watching, it play and how it felt, it definitely looked like it would get in that ballpark of Skyrim, and hopefully it does. I mean, 200 plus hours, that you're gonna be playing that until you sell your system.
yeah. That's like a Civ 5 length game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy, but hey, it's good news for people with free time.
Yeah, exactly. I've been kind of doing like the opposite. I like a lot of the smaller like in and out games. Like been playing Nidhogg, and I just got Axiom Verge today. And that game is so much fun. Apparently, like if you don't know what Axiom Verge is, it's it's a Castlevania game. Or what do they call it?
Metroidvania.
Metroidvania, yeah. And when you start out, you could tell this guy. It's one man made it too. I'll look it up and see um, who did it in the meantime. But yeah, it's the same exact style, but you it's kind of like Mega Man where you get like different weapons. And there's one cool weapon called the glitch gun, and when you shoot it, it glitches the game out, but it, it's supposed to do that. Like it'll let you go through walls. It will put a tile in an area where you can jump onto it. It will glitch certain enemies to do certain things, and it's really cool. And you could tell this guy just put so much work into it. But yeah, his let's see here. Let's see the development. Why can't I find his name? Well, anyway, I'll get back to that. But yeah, it's here. No, I thought I just found it. But anyway, we'll get back to that. We'll put that in the show notes. But anyway, he did a great job, and I haven't played that much of it, just a few hours. And you go to one area, you get a gun, you go back, you trace back your steps. You go to a certain area you had to pass before because couldn't get through it, but now you have the gun, that kind of thing, and it's huge. So I read it's anywhere between like 10 and 30 hours, but it's one of those like you can play a little bit, save, and get out and go on with your life. And
Excellent.
yeah, the other one I've been playing, which, oh man, this is my first of the series, and I have a love-hate relationship with it, just like it seems everyone else is doing. I was incredibly, I didn't, oh, what's the right words? I didn't know. I was scared of the game, basically. I did not know if I was going to like it. I did not know if I should, throw down the money for it. But everyone's talking about it, and everyone's loving it. But I got Bloodborne, and if you're not familiar with Bloodborne, well, you might not know the other series as well. It's the Dark Souls and Demon Souls, and I never played those. I always heard about people saying how hard it was, and like, basically in this game, you are it's like a Victorian, I don't know, nightmare, and basically you're this guy and you got to collect blood something or another, and you go through the town, you kill werewolf dude, you kill all these guy with a torch, like you're killing these people, and it seems pretty easy at first, like I'm able to take them down, but they take you out in like 2-3 hits. So you start have to planning how you're killing. You can only save in certain areas, and you constantly have to run back and save. It's very hard. It gets really hard. There's this one spot I was doing for just like 30-40 minutes. I just had because I kept dying. But there was something about once I got it and figured it out and killed everyone there and was able to save again, it was so rewarding. So it really reminds me of like old school games that were super hard that you had to, you would hear your friends get, and then you'd get it, and you'd be like, wait a second, how did they even get past the first level? I'm just dying over and over again, and yeah, it was super cool. And there's what one thing about it is you can leave notes in the game if you play online, and the online is like, well, from what I've played, it's not like you're playing with other people, but they leave notes, and you'll see these little skeletons all over the ground. And if you run up and hit X, a little note will pop up, and it will be like, be careful, there's an ambush ahead. So like you prepare. So you
Ah,
yeah, so you can use that and help yourself, or you can just not hit X and keep going and be surprised by it all. And I'm right at the point where I know I have a boss battle coming up on a bridge, and I kind of saved it. I knew I didn't have that much time, so and I'm sure I'm gonna die a million times trying to beat him. But man, Bloodborne, it's a lot of fun. Like it's definitely one you need to put on your list.
okay. Yeah, this list is ridiculously long.
Right, and like Bloodborne, I think $60. Axiom Verge though, it's $20. And what's cool is it's going to be cross save for the Vita. So, I actually it's one of those games where I'm looking at it, I'm like kind of like Hotline Miami. I'm like I want to play that on the Vita. So when it's released on the Vita, then it's already available for me to
Oh, nice,
download.
nice.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
We should
Tom.
probably
Hang on.
talk about.
Tom Happ, the guy's name.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, no, it's one guy, and I'm sure he had some help from some other people, but he was mostly just him doing it. Do you happen to have the list of the free
I
PlayStation
do.
Plus games?
I do for April. I certainly
Okay.
do. The PS4 game, for PS4 exclusively is Never Alone, which most of this month's games I have never heard of.
Okay, I've
Which
heard of Never Alone.
Yeah,
So we'll talk about that in a minute.
okay. And then for PS4 and PS3 are Tower of Guns, which is another one never heard of.
It's
Uh,
not out yet.
well, okay.
Yep.
Aru's Awakening, again, never heard of it. For PS3 only, Dishonored, which is enough to almost make me want to try and find a space to hook my PS3 up again because that game was awesome.
Right.
And for PS Vita, Killzone Mercenary and Monster Bag.
Cool. Yeah. No. I mean, Killzone. I've been looking at that on the Vita. Every time I go in the store, I'm like, oh, that looks interesting and cool. But now that it's free, hell yeah.
There you
And
go.
Dishonored. I mean, I really think because Bethesda did that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm thinking they made that free because that's going to be one of the games they announce at E3 next month. I think it's going to be Bethesda's going to come out there. They're going to talk. Of course they're going to do Fallout 4. But I think Dishonored they're going to make a sequel too because it's just very timely that they've released that. And I heard that a rumor about a month ago that it was going to be free for this month. So I can only assume. But Never Alone. I've seen a few people play that. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like Valiant Hearts that was free this month.
Okay.
Basically, yeah, you play as this what would you call her? Like Eskimo, I guess. There's a better term for that, but
Inuit. Inuit, I think, is a word.
yeah, exactly. And again, I didn't play it. I'm just going off what I saw. And you're with her and her wolf, and you I don't know exactly what happens in the game, but it's kind of one of those you're going from one side of the screen to the other. You're trying to solve puzzles, and every time you run across certain things, it gives you a little history lesson about
Okay.
how they lived and like real life things that they have to go through, how they live, how they survive, their legends and stuff like that. And it's one of those kind of games. It's one of those like it looks indie, it looks different, even though it's not, but it still is. So it's cool. I'm all for those kind of educational games where you can they're not super hard, but at the same time they feel a little rewarding with the history lessons.
Very cool.
So
Very cool.
yeah, so that'd be cool. Let's see what else were the other ones. I'm not sure. I think one of them's a platformer for the PS4. Oh no, the guns one. That's not. Yeah, that comes out next month, so I have no idea about it. I just know it's like a never-ending thing of guns.
Hey, I'm down.
Yeah,
For
hey, it's
free,
free,
especially.
so.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I do. Like I'll go. whenever I make sure I put them in my cart. I play a little bit of them, and some that I like, I'll keep. The other ones, I'll just kind of delete and make some room. But yeah, so I also saw that um, they for the PS4 they're doing a Arkham Knight bundle. Have you seen that?
I have. It almost makes me regret having bought a PS4 already.
Right, yeah, it looks cool. And I saw that what else did they have? They and it was $3.99 too. So like that comes with the game
Yeah.
basically for $400, which is amazing. Um, did you see more about the let's see here. Oh, Silent Hills.
Yeah,
That
I saw that. There we have a little we don't know what going on here.
right? Yeah, that's oh man, it's gonna be a shame if that game doesn't come out because that playable trailer, the PT was I mean that reminded me of like the schoolyard, like back in the day where you were like, oh, did you do this? Oh, did you do this when, that guy came out and said toasty, in Mortal Kombat? Like you'd be like, oh, I didn't hear about that, but I've
Yeah.
seen that. Oh, you hit select or whatever. That's what it reminded me of when playing PT because it was people like, oh, if you do this, then you unlock this, and make sure you go through the hallway this way, and I was actually on Twitch and someone was watching me randomly. Sounds creepy, but that's what was happening. And and he was like, "Hey, let me help you." So he added me on the PS Network or whatnot and talked to me and was telling me exactly what to do through it. And there was just some things I would have never gotten.
Yeah, some of them were really out there. It was like you almost had to know.
Right, you had to whisper someone's name at the end into the microphone while like a bell chimes twice. The bell had to chime twice. Then you had to whisper someone's name into the microphone plugged into your controller, and I would have never thought to talk through the mic
No.
to control a game, and that kind of stuff is super neat. So it's gonna suck to see what they do with that. But yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up for games. I see Star Wars Battlefront trailer should be April 17th. That's for the Star Wars Celebration, I imagine.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be it's happening what is it, 1:30 Eastern time. But they're
Right.
doing
Okay,
this
that's
out
cool.
in they're doing this out in Anaheim, so that's 10:30 Pacific, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
No,
Super
hang on,
excited to see that.
wait, not 17th. Did you say 17th?
Yeah, yeah.
No, 14th. I
Oh,
thought
really?
I might have
I,
read that wrong. Oh no, I wrote it down wrong. I wrote it down
oh,
wrong.
okay.
My bad. Yeah.
No, it's all good. I imagine it'd be on the weekend, so
Yeah.
but yeah, that's super cool.
We've also
Um,
had they've announced 3 sort of mini Assassin's Creed games. I don't know if you saw this.
oh, yeah, it was Russia, China, and India, right?
Yeah, they're talking to Climax Studios is working with Ubisoft Montreal to make them. Climax did, speaking of Silent Hill, they did Silent Hill Origins, and then they did Shattered Memories.
Oh, wow.
So they're working on them. Yeah, each of these is going to be, what did they call them, a 2.5D game. They're not going to be full range 3D.
Yeah,
There's
from what I understand, it was a side scroller, right?
yeah, more or less. They're
That's
going to
gonna be
be
interesting.
$10 a pop. The China one takes place towards the end of the Ming Dynasty, I think it said. So that's like mid 1640s. The
Hmm.
Russia one is during the October Revolution, so that's 1917. And the one in India they said was the Sikh Empire, so that's early to mid 1800s. So
Wow.
they're staying fairly, I mean, we're going from 1640 to 1840 essentially, but we're not digging way back like with the first Assassin's Creed where they went, like 1,000 years ago, more or less.
Right. Right. Yeah, see, that's one series I never got into was Assassin's Creed, and everyone tells me how great it is, especially the second one. I hear a lot of good things about it.
I can't, the first one has its gameplay issues because it was kind of a new title on PS3. It was one of the first ones. So it feels clunky and it's repetitive, and there are some issues with it. But play the 3 in the because they number 2 did so well that they spun off 2 more from it. There was Assassin's Creed 2, and then there was Brotherhood and one more that I can't remember, and that's going to drive me nuts. but they basically did. It was like Assassin's Creed 2, and then 2.5, and then like 2 2/3 or something. But it was those three told one story.
Right, it was Brotherhood and Revelations.
Revelations, thank you. That was
Right.
going to drive me nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, play those three. The mechanics are good. They had them more polished. And then skip 3 and go right to 4. That's it.
Yeah, see, I played 4. That was the one that I actually did play some of with the pirate stuff, and that was cool.
Yeah.
But I just got tired of I'd be running, and then suddenly I'm on a bench, and then suddenly I'm on a lamppost, and then suddenly I'm running up a wall, and I'm just trying to chase somebody, and then it would be like, oh, you timed out and didn't. You were too far behind him, and then I get close to me, like you were too close, and I'm like, oh god, I do not like this kind of game.
Yeah.
Like it's just that's. I loved the open world, I loved the ships, I loved all that stuff. It was weird as shit when it kept jumping through, like, oh wait, you're a new guy at a corporation or something like that, and then it was like, oh wait, it's all in a game, and I was like, oh, that's weird. But yeah, I just, like I said, I never was a fan of the series. I was gonna pick up the new one, but then when I heard how many bugs and stuff it had, and I held off.
Well, and even still, I mean, like I know they fixed, most of them. It's an Ubisoft game, so they're never all going to be fixed.
Right.
But at least it's not an EA title, so there's that going for it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Unity was okay. Like it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't as barren as 3, for instance. But
right.
it was okay. I was not. I was definitely not whelmed at all.
I'll be honest, the third one, when I saw the trailers for that one excited me the most.
Yeah, and it was
like,
so
oh.
disappointing.
Right, yeah, like the trailers hit every beat, and I was like, oh, okay, this guy's Native American. Oh, like I like this, and then bam, and then yeah, all the bad reviews, all of that, just like, okay, I guess that I'm not gonna try that one until it's, super cheap. But I actually never went back and looked at it. But yeah, so let's see. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if there's any other news for games that I saw out there, unless there's anything you see.
No, I think that pretty well covers it for games. I think I just want to look back through. Nope, I have nothing else for video game news.
Right. Okay. Well, did you want to talk about the stuff about Luke Cage?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. No. Did you ever see Halo Nightfall at all?
I did not.
I didn't either. I actually never really was a Halo fan to begin with, because I owned the 360 at the beginning of its life cycle and not at the end, and I never was a Halo fan, so
Yeah.
I never got into the series. I played 2 and 3, but that's about it. And then when I found out the series was going to Xbox One, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll never watch that. But yeah, so I heard it actually wasn't that good, but it wasn't the actor's fault though. From what I hear.
Well, and that's the thing is that wasn't from as far as I know, that wasn't like the Halo series, because they're making 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's called Nightfall. But yeah, no, it's cool to see an actor there, and I believe they have the showrunner now, right?
Yes, they have that as well.
Right. And who was that?
Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. We've got a week this week of names that I can't pronounce, and I'm gonna get dinged for them everywhere. But that's how it goes.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna bear with me here. It's Chio Hodari Coker, if I'm reading this right.
I think you nailed it. Yeah, he was the co-executive producer of Ray Donovan. Did you ever see that? That's with Sabretooth, right?
Yeah, like I never watched it, but I heard like lots of great things. It's something else on my list. That's like, oh yeah, I'll watch that.
Right, and then Almost Human. So that's good. That's good. I mean, that's exciting. I can't wait for Marvel to start that. Daredevil starts next month.
Yes.
What time next month? I think it's like early.
2 weeks? I think 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's exciting. We got Game of Thrones, we got Daredevil. It's going to be a lot. I'll probably knock out Daredevil in about a week. and did they say at all if Luke Cage was coming out this year or?
Luke Cage is next year. They're doing Daredevil and Jessica Jones this year.
Oh, okay. See,
Yeah.
I figured Luke Cage would be next, but no,
No,
that's cool. Jessica
he's
Jones is awesome.
yeah. They're gonna do what is it? AK. I don't know if they're calling it AKA Jessica Jones. I forget. I think they have an official title, but I can't remember.
It's probably Alias, right?
I don't think so. I think they're
No.
because that's gonna confuse people.
See, that's why I thought they said AKA
Yeah.
Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, that was the comic. I know Alias was the comic, if I remember right.
Right, yeah.
But I think they're gonna go with AK. I think it's AKA Jessica Jones.
Oh, that's cool. That's
But
cool.
but yeah, and at some point Luke Cage is gonna cameo in that, and
Oh,
then
okay.
he'll go on. Yeah, he's gonna be third, and I guess they'll do Iron. I guess that by default makes Iron Fists last, and then they'll
Right,
do
yeah. Luke
their
Cage and Iron Fist next year.
yeah, and then they'll do their Defenders bit, and
Yeah.
that'll be
Ah,
cool.
man, it'd be really cool to see. I want to see Frank Castle in there. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, like it would work in this universe. It would.
Oh, it totally would. Oh, yeah. But let's see what else is with TV. Oh, I saw Stephen Amell from Arrow is going to be cast as Casey Jones in TMNT too.
A depending on your point of view, it's either a lateral move or a step down, depending.
Right.
I
Well,
go
I mean, the first one made a shitload of money,
Yeah,
so
well,
I can
you
only
know.
imagine this is going to be a paycheck for him.
Sure, and I was my friend Danny and I were two people who were just so we did not want to see Michael Bay's name anywhere near Ninja Turtles. It was like, but he's
Right.
not directing. We don't care.
Right.
We didn't care. And I don't know about him, but I went and saw it, and I came out and I thought, you know what? That was fun. That was all I need. That was
Yeah,
fun.
I think it gets too much flack. Like it was way better than I thought it was gonna be. And I mean this is coming. I mean I love Ninja Turtles. I still have all the old action figures in a box, and that was me. That was my thing as a kid. I
Yeah.
loved TMNT. We got all the action figures anytime. I would see him like, Mom, I need that, I need that, I need that, and she'd cave, and I was spoiled, but I loved it. That was my thing. So when I heard about this movie, I was like, okay, cool, another live action Ninja Turtles movie. It's better than nothing. And then of course Michael Bay was attached, and I was like, oh no, 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 no. And then when I saw it, I was like, nope, that was pretty fun, and I could totally see kids these days really enjoying it, and
Absolutely.
my friends' kids saw it and they loved it. That they thought it was great, and so that's what it's for. Like it's for the kids.
Oh yeah.
And it's I went there with a complete open mind, and I walked away enjoying it. And I know like there's a lot of websites and stuff that gave it a lot of shit, but I think they looked at it a little too serious, and it's not supposed to be. It's just supposed to be. It's the opposite of that. Like
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was made for, to be silly and ridiculous. And I thought it was great. I thought it was great. So I look forward to it. I really thought CM Punk would be the perfect Casey Jones. When I heard he wanted that role, I was like, that is perfect. That guy can talk. He looks the look. That would be cool.
That would have been interesting for
Oh,
sure.
totally interesting. Yeah, absolutely. And Stephen Amell, I mean, I think it'd be good. It's going to be cool to see him on the big screen and how he does that. Because he's in CW, and that he works well there. So it's going to be super cool. I mean, I always thought he'd be cool as the Arrow on the big screen. I don't know why they didn't go that route, but
Well, because they're not doing they're splitting the universe. Like it's not they have the TV universe and the movie universe. They're doing the
Oh, yeah.
opposite of what Marvel's doing, and I still disagree with that because I think it's going to confuse people. They're going to go see because since they're doing a Flash movie, they're going to go see it. And they're going to say, why is it not the same guy? He's the same character. He's the same Flash. Why are these two completely different?
Absolutely, yeah. And the kids look totally different, the
Oh,
two
yeah.
Flashes.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, I totally agree. It's going to be confusing for people, and that's where, like you said, you just have to explain the TV show, and they are building such a world on TV too. So
good
at the same
God.
time, I'm kind of like, this is interesting. That's another thing of news this week. Now, I don't have the story in front of me, but I saw that in the spin-off show for both Flash and Arrow, it's going to be they're probably just going to call it the Justice League, but at this point, it's going to have Atom, it's going to have Canary, the original Canary, it's going to have Hawk Girl, it's going to have a time traveler, So yeah, that's going to be super cool. It's also going to have what is it, Death Shot, I believe, from Arrow.
Really? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
here
yeah. So it's
I've
going to
got
be
the hang on, I've got the list here.
okay.
Uh, the Atom, Captain Cold, Heatwave,
That's it.
Martin Stein, and Katie Lotz, who's well, it's interesting. Uh, they're saying that even though because she was the original Black Canary, they're not actually saying she's going to be reprising that role.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I
That's
mean, I
different.
think we'll find out by the end of the season if she's still alive, if she is a clone. Who knows? They could go in any direction with this.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, yeah, but that's super cool. I mean, I'm a huge Arrow fan. Flash was on tonight. I don't want to spoil it or anything.
Go
But they went into
Flash was awesome.
right, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And they went into Wells' character. I thought that was cool. They show a little history there, and I did not see any of that coming because at first when I was watching it, I'm like, wait a second, who's this guy? Who's that guy? Wait a second, that's not right. And then at the end, it makes sense,
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, in a very comic book way, but it makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, now I totally see why
yeah.
that would happen and the last names and everything else. But yeah, no, it's super. Now, again, don't want to get to the spoilers, but when said that his last name, he is an ancestor of someone on the show, right? And we you know who I'm talking about. He's a descendant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So okay, that makes sense because I'm like, he didn't look like him, but he kind of did, and I was like, okay, so he's a descendant. Got it. So that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, when they first started the show and they're like, and here's this guy, I'm like, no, come on, really? Like they're not,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
as they got further, I was like, oh, okay, so they kind of did that just to mess with everybody. Okay, I see.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, it's to me, I love Arrow. Arrow's gritty and it's dark, but I think Flash has me a little bit more, and it's a lot earlier too than Arrow did because Arrow took a while for it to get me and for me to like it as much as I do. And Flash is doing it in one season, and they're just building such a world. They
Yeah,
took what Arrow had and they just multiplied it. And that
and the
third show, we're gonna have 3 nights. It'll probably be what, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, full of
I
man,
would
there's gonna be so
imagine,
many
yeah.
superhero shows on. And I even think Gotham comes back soon. I'm excited for that. I want to see how that ends.
Yeah, I don't. That's when I haven't. That's another one that's like I have to wait till the season is over so that I can just watch the whole thing.
Oh wow! Oh, you haven't seen any of it?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's not that good. At least I don't think it is. But it's one of those that it's finally starting to build its world that now it can play in it. And it took however many episodes to add characters, and I'm telling you, that villain of the week stuff, I don't know why these shows still do it, but it gets old. I mean, even The Walking Dead kind of did it for the first season. It was like, here's this new group, here's this bad guy. It gets old after a while, and it's like you kind of just want to see the characters grow. Like for example, it wasn't last week in Flash, but the week before that, when they came back from the break, all of that development towards the end, I was like, okay, we're going places now. The story's moving ahead, and then they went back 30 minutes, and I was like, damn it.
Yeah, but it was
I know
necessary.
they had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they had to, but it was kind of like I wish it did that more often because that kind of stuff is what happens in Game of Thrones, and they don't go back a day and try and fix things. That shit just happens, and you have to move on with the story and be on the edge of your seat. So I kind of wish they did that a little bit, but they got like 24 I was just thinking, like, it's still the first season of The Flash,
Yeah.
and there's still a hell of a lot still to tell, and it's like you look at that compared to Game of Thrones, and it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like how, we were talking about, things happen and there are consequences. What happens when you try to undo the consequences is you wind up with worse consequences. So
Right, exactly.
I dug how that was kind of the sermon of that episode. It was like,
Right.
you really, and you can argue, well, but this and that and this and that. But if they're going where some of the producers have hinted that they may be going, and anybody who knows semi-recent DC comics will look, because I don't want to spoil anything, but they'll look and they'll say, oh yeah, when this happened, it changed so much. It's kind of like it hammers that lesson home, and anybody, for anybody that doesn't know the comics, they're never going to see this coming.
Oh wow.
They're not going to expect like, oh yeah, this one, you step on this one butterfly and you wind up in Bizarro World. You don't.
Right. You're totally making me want to read The Flash now. I think I might do that.
Well, you have to. We'll talk after, because it gets, as soon as I start talking about, oh, it happened here, like it's an immediate spoiler.
Right.
So I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm excited. That's one thing I love about The Flash is Arrow. I mean, Arrow's kind of, it's not predictable, but it's not predictable at all, but The Flash just has me much more like I really don't know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
Like oh yeah. So and let's talk about Mark Hamill. Like
Oh
what?
my God. Oh man, I've missed him so much, and he was awesome. He was so good.
He needs to be on TV way more often.
Oh yes, he does. He absolutely does. He pulled. He took his old, because he was, this isn't a spoiler because they did this in all the press releases. He is reprising his role from the original 90s Flash TV series of the Trickster. That's what I thought was so awesome, is that they're not afraid to go back to that, because even the Flash's dad is the guy who played the Flash in the 90s series. And and I was like, okay, that's neat. That's kind of cool. But to have Hamill come back in that role and play a more a darker
he was the
version
Joker.
of that.
Like
yes.
you could tell he was channeling the Joker's role. When his little laughs and his little like his little you could tell he was winking at the audience.
Oh, absolutely.
in the one line. They weren't just winking at the audience. They just took a bow in front of the audience, and that was perfect. I can't. The Flash, it just gets better and better. And then they showed like this season on the Flash, and there's just a lot of stuff that goes down.
Yeah, they have what, like 8 or 9 more episodes, I think, this season. They've got like a whole third of a season left yet.
Jesus, yeah, there's so much. Like, this is definitely one I think I'm going to pick up when it comes out in a box set and kind of sit down and watch it through, even though it's long, but watch it through. Like like I said, the other shows like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, they're a lot easier to sit and watch and do like a marathon for a few days. These other shows, they take forever, but I don't know. I think this is definitely one I'm going to get and like to rewatch all at one time. But yeah, man. What other news did we have?
Well, we talked about Monster of the Week and why so many shows keep doing it. And it's probably because the show that pioneered it is coming back 600 years later.
Right, the X-Files, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they're getting a 6-episode miniseries order for.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I was like, that's and they're having, yes, Mulder and Scully are back, Duchovny and they, they're back.
Yeah, so, 6 episodes sounds good, because then they might actually just tell one big story and hopefully not 6 individual bee-stinging stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Crazy monster in the flower shop. Gotta go get him. I mean, Smallville did the same thing too. That was one where when I was a kid, I was watching it and I was just like, I don't like this. Why do people like this? Well, I don't understand.
And Smallville at that time was kind of following in Buffy's footsteps.
Right, and I never got into Buffy.
Yeah, it did the same thing. But again, that's something that'll happen like for a season, maybe 2. And then now, it's like we have to kind of build a world. We have to establish a number of certain things, and we have to say, especially when it comes to something like secret identities. Like, these people are going to know right up front. These people, we make it clear, can never find out, but of course they're going to at some point. And then, these people who it doesn't matter, that, you have to kind of set those boundaries. And that takes at least a handful of episodes. And then you get into limitations on whatever, whether it's powers or influence or whatever the case may be. So you get into that. And, sometimes you might lay a more subtle kind of groundwork for something. And that takes time. And it's ambitious, but it does tend to get really tedious. I agree, but if it's done right, it pays off huge. I think Smallville was not an example of that, but
Right.
that was a show that was like, I can't believe it was 10 seasons. That
Yeah.
blows my mind. And I go
Well,
back and I think there were a few there that we didn't need.
oh yeah, no, but the WB can get away with that. Channels like ABC and NBC and CBS, they can't get away with
Right.
that. That kind of stuff, after Lost, that stuff doesn't fly anymore. People want, to live and breathe and live in these worlds with the characters, and
But they're
it's
kind of going
not
they
each and every week a new bad guy.
and that's what's interesting between Gotham and Constantine, because both had to do exactly the same thing. You knew this character, and it was the thing of, well, nobody, the general public doesn't really know John Constantine's story. Well, the general public didn't really know young Jim Gordon's story either. It was
No.
all about building that world, and I still hold out hope at the beginning of May at the upfronts that when they repitch Constantine, that somebody picks it up, because I really dug that show.
See, I didn't. I watched the first 4 episodes and it didn't catch me, and I think it's because I think Batman has the best thing about Batman is it's bad guys. So even if Batman's not technically, well, I mean, he's in the show Bruce Wayne, but he's not Batman yet.
Right.
You still have the whole rogues gallery they're gonna go through or hints at them, and I think that kind of like that resonates with people. Where the Constantine would have been much better, I think, on CW. Like it already has that audience that likes witches and Dracula's vampires and shit like that. You already have that audience who's into that kind of dark arts type stuff
Right.
and comic booky type stuff. I mean, did you see iZombie?
I haven't yet, no.
Yeah, iZombie was pretty neat. It was Veronica Mars with with Zombie Girl, and it was like, okay, this is going to do well on CW. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna have its audience. It's not comic booky like Flash and Arrow superheroes, but it's a twist, and it was fun, and that would never go anywhere on any other channel.
No.
That's where.
No.
That's why I thought Constantine would actually do really good, or sci-fi.
It would have bombed on the CW just because they already have Supernatural.
That's true, but
It would have been it would have felt too similar.
really, you see, I think it would have been great if it just came on right after Supernatural to get that audience to go, hey, now I have a block of shows that I like. Just kind of how they did with Arrow and Flash. Like, didn't they play them back to back a few times?
Yeah, they did that kind of to get started. But I mean,
Right.
the thing is, you have to look at. I know the legacy of Constantine predates Supernatural by decades, really. But look at Castiel from Supernatural. His entire look, minus the blonde hair, is patterned off of Constantine. It was a
you could tell.
direct patterning from that, and to see
Right.
I think they've kind of hit critical mass when it comes to not like supernatural and paranormal stuff, but the idea of like a direct good versus evil magic demons and monsters thing. I don't
Right.
think they could go any further, but there was talk of Constantine maybe going to sci-fi, and I think that's not a bad idea.
Right. Well, they were talking about for a while Booster Gold going and having a sci-fi show. Actually, this is funny. The guy that's doing the Arrow Flash spinoff was set to do a Booster Gold show on sci-fi. And when I read that in the Arrow Flash spinoff, there was going to be a time traveler that they don't know, he's ambiguous if he's good or bad, but he's clever and he's witty and he's funny, and I thought that's Booster Gold. But they said it was some other guy that I've never heard of.
Yeah, damn. I totally forgot his name.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, that has to be Booster Gold. And that would be really cool. I would love to see Booster Gold in a TV show of all things in that same world. That would be fantastic. But it was going to be a sci-fi show, and then everything fell through. So, Yeah, Constantine. See, I'm not into that whole. I'm not like the Buffy. I'm just. It's not my thing. I get why people like it. I totally do. But it's just not my thing. So when when I heard about Constantine, I was like, okay, I know that character. I see. I like him in an ensemble. And I know it's weird to say. A lot of people don't like him in the what is it? The Dark Justice League or
Justice
Justice
League
League
Dark.
Dark.
My favorite DC book right now.
Right, and then what's his name has is said he's gonna Del Toro, I believe,
Yeah.
said he was doing the movie, which would be super cool.
I can't wait.
Right, and I like him in an ensemble with Swamp Thing and playing in the same sandbox with all those other characters, Deadman, Swamp Thing, like it's super cool. But him by himself, I'm like, okay, I could tell it was going to be bad guy of the week. Let's go to this minor town and find the ghost in the wild, and is it really a ghost or is it? I'm like, oh god, this is like Scooby Doo.
I would have got away with it if it weren't for you meddling Brits.
Right, exactly. But no, it's a demon from blah 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 that's haunting. I was just like, okay, I've had enough. But I mean, I hope it does well. I don't want a show to get canceled. But it wasn't for me. But yeah, we've got so many things now to talk about with comic book TV shows, and it's good. I mean, a lot of people give it crap. They think it's gonna flood the market with it, and they are. But a lot of the bad ones are falling off.
And I mean that's the thing. It's like you're gonna get, and people, they love to take a jab at especially like comic book. Every movie is a comic book movie. Every TV show is a comic book show. Yeah, remember when that was westerns? Remember when that was gangster movies? These things happen in cycles, and the ones that suck fall away, and people forget about them. Except that we live in the age of the internet, where anybody that works with them will never be able to distance himself from them far enough.
Exactly.
But it's the idea of like we demand, and there is no more. And I'll put whatever on this. There is no more demanding of quality and audience than nerds.
Oh, totally
we
true.
want what we want, and if you don't give it to us, we're gonna tell you.
Oh yeah, most of my friends they could care less about it. They think I'm ridiculous when I'm like, oh, I did not like that, or that rubbed me the wrong way, or like, oh, they could have done that better. And they're like, no, I thought it was great because they had no concept of what those characters were before they're on the screen or anything like that. It was new to them, and that's cool. I mean, that's totally. That's good for you. No, that's fantastic. Sometimes I wish I'd go into a movie not knowing a thing about those kind of characters in that genre, but I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. I love researching everything ahead of time. Let me rephrase that. I usually, when it comes to like comic book stuff, I normally know somewhat of it, and I will take a minute or two and go back and look at some videos or whatnot and be like, oh, that's who that character is, and those who or to refresh my memory of something I might have read as a kid, but yeah, it's a new age, and I like it. I know the market's getting flooded with it, but the bad ones wash out, and the good ones do stay. I mean, if Marvel to me hasn't really slipped yet. Iron Man 2 to me was probably the worst of them all, and that wasn't even that bad compared to everything else I'm seeing coming out. A lot of the
my biggest fear is Ant-Man. Like I don't
I
know,
like Paul
man.
Rudd though. I mean, I think Paul Rudd's hilarious. So that it's different too. And I think what Ant-Man has going for it is no one really knows about Ant-Man. Same with Guardians of the Galaxy. No one really knew about those characters.
Well, I'll say yes and no, because the one thing people do know about Ant-Man, he shrinks, and like that's possibly the lamest single selling point for anything. It's why the Atom is not actually the Atom. And
right, but that's not all he does.
Yeah, I know, but like you can't when that's what people are gonna when it starts out. This is what he was known for, even though there's more to him than that. It's a hard hurdle to get over.
He's also known for something else, which I doubt they're gonna put.
Well,
in the
not
movie.
Well, no. Scott Lang isn't known for that.
Oh,
The
you're
Ant-Man
right.
that
You're
Paul
right.
Rudd
It's not
played.
Scott Lang. It's the guy who's teaching Hank Pym. But
Yeah.
That's why I think that I thought they handled that really cool. Like, because I was like, okay, it's gonna be Scott Lang.
Yeah.
Where's Hank Pym? Oh, he's in the movie. Oh, and he's older. This is pretty cool. I like that. One thing what I hope, and this is just a pie in the sky idea, but I think it'd be really cool, is if this movie takes place before the Avengers actually became Avengers, and you see him helping out in New York City, but none of the other team was aware that he was there because he's an ant and he's punching people in the face. That would be cool, and so therefore the Ant-Man was a part of the original Avengers. They just didn't know it. I always thought it was cool.
That would be one hell of a retcon.
Right. I forgot who told me that. I think it was some guy at the comic shop told me, and I was like, that would be amazing, and that would be fun, and that would be exciting, and that's why the Marvel is one of those studios. When they release a film, I'm going into it with optimism. I'm going into it knowing that I will hopefully get my money's worth, and they haven't failed me yet. I can't tell you how many studios in the last 5 to 10 years have totally let me down, and Marvel hasn't really been one of them. So until they do that, you can look back at a film and go, that was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say keep doing them, and they're doing them right. They're doing them well. They're putting great talent, great writers, great actors in it. Keep it up, and I can only hope Disney's gonna do the same. When they bought Star Wars, and everyone was, not everyone, but a lot of people were like, "Oh, they're gonna ruin it." And I'm like, you can't really get worse for fans than what you've already done. This could only get better. Look how much love and attention they showed to Marvel. You gotta think that they're gonna be doing the same thing to Star Wars, and so I was excited, and I still am, and it's going to be interesting, and it's cool to see what DC's doing. I mean, I just saw that, what's his name? AAA. That's what I call him, Mr. Echo from Lost. He's going to be Killer Croc, right?
Yeah, in the Suicide Squad movie.
That's cool.
That's turning into just a cluster of a cast. I mean, we get something new every week. Scott Eastwood and somebody else was just announced. Hang on, help me out.
Oh, that's going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy movie for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's going to be their film with these people who don't really want to be around each other. They're all kind of dicks, but they'll probably make them lovable and not as bad as everyone thinks. And they're going to go after the worst of the worst, the Joker. And I even think Ben Affleck's going to be in it, right?
No,
I thought for sure he was going to be in it.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool, but
I'm all I've seen is no.
See, from what I thought I read that he's going to kind of be like the Nick Fury of all these films. Oh, no. I'm sorry. It was Lex Luthor who's going to be like the Nick Fury, where he's going to kind of be in all the films, manipulating stuff, which would be neat. Again, all rumor. I have no idea if that's true.
We'll see. I'm curious to see how DC's universe starts to shake out, and we're not really gonna know until we get the next couple of movies.
Right, exactly. It's the same thing we did with Marvel. We didn't really know how Marvel's was gonna be until Avengers hit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and I saw that Wolverine. He did a tweet or an Instagram or something where he said one last time.
Yeah.
And so I can only imagine that's for the third Wolverine film.
Yeah, because he's not going to be in Apocalypse. I think they've...
No, he is. He's in Apocalypse.
He is in Apocalypse?
Yep.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, he's going to be in Apocalypse, and the third is going to be the last Wolverine, which I heard was kind of like a team up with him and Professor X, which should be interesting.
I'm just curious to see how they end that part of the story.
Right. Well, see, the thing is when it came to Batman, you had Keaton do it twice, and then you had a bunch of actors do it every other movie. Same thing with Bond. You had an actor do it every few movies. Do you think they just swap out the actor, even though he's done it for a lot of movies?
10 years ago, I'd have said yes. Now, no way. Not when they've... Not especially when they've built this idea.
It's too profitable, man. You can't leave Wolverine out of it. I don't know how you make... You can have... I'm afraid they're going to even threw him in when they rebooted the series. They threw him in for that one scene, and that one scene to me was the best scene of the whole film.
Yeah, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but I mean, again, it's kind of like Iron Man. They're not going to just kill off Iron Man. Marvel is not going to do that. They will replace Tony Stark, even though he is unplaceable, Robert Downey Jr., but they have to. I mean, you can't. There's too much money to leave on the table.
Now, you see, I agreed with you the first time you said that. They're not going to replace Downey. They're going to replace Iron Man when it comes to that. I think they're not going to replace Hugh Jackman. They're going to replace Wolverine. The problem with that is you're going to want... I mean, it's what they're trying to do now in the comics, and I'm not following it. I don't know how well it's working, but I can speak to when they did that in the Ultimate Universe.
Oh,
When
it
they were,
didn't work. There's no when they replaced Wolverine, it was with Sabretooth, and there's no Wolverine book. There was Wolverines, and it doesn't sell as well.
yeah.
It's not the same. I mean, the Wolverine is one of those. DC's not going to get rid of Batman. And Marvel to me is not going to get rid or I'm sorry, Fox is not going to get rid of Wolverine, just like Sony's not going to get rid of Spider-Man. And you're right, they might try and cast a different character, but it's no one is Wolverine. I mean, unless
Well,
they did X23 or whatnot.
I'm
I
I'm
don't.
just I'm just afraid they're gonna do what they did in the Ultimate Universe, which is, oh hey, here's Wolverine's son, who's exactly like him, just
Oh,
15 years younger.
that would oh, Twilight Wolverine, huh? No, that would
Yeah,
be
yeah, essentially.
miserable. No, I think they could get an actor, and I think the audience is smart enough to know, okay, we
No,
know it's not Hugh Jackman,
no.
but we'll play along. It's just like Bond. I mean, I think once they get the first one out there, and the thing is, the actor would have to nail it, or else it would be a disaster. It would
The
be like,
pr-
okay, well, that failed.
the problem with that is, with that specific analogy, they were replacing Bond and they were replacing Batman in an era where that didn't matter. Now it matters. Fox has created a universe with the X-Men where that matters. You can have Jennifer Lawrence
And this is their last one,
yeah,
apparently.
play young Mystique, and I can't for the life of me remember who played the older-ish version of Mystique. I cannot remember her name, which is terrible. But that's because of the
Oh,
time difference.
remains.
Rebecca Romaine. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, here's the thing. This is what I think they do. If they don't just simply replace the actor, they'll probably just reboot it again for the third time now. And they'll keep that whole continuality of the first however many films, and they'll just reboot it. Just like they do everything else. I don't think X-Men is untouchable like, for example, Star Wars. They're not going to reboot Star Wars. Disney isn't. They would never go, okay, brand new. Let's just make A New Hope over again. They're not going to do that. I don't think that's one of those franchises you don't go anywhere near. Where X-Men, you could totally reboot. You could totally tell the story over again differently, just like they did Spider-Man.
Yeah, and look how well that worked out in the end.
Right? No, true. No, true. Yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
you know,
maybe hopefully it would lead to them having a deal with Marvel, and we get. Oh, it'd be such a shame to Hugh Jackman end his career and not be in the Avengers. Just pop up. Doesn't even have to say his name. He's just in the crowd, and he has a funky hairdo like Wolverine, and he just nods at the camera with a cigar.
I would love that. Just give me that. I'm good.
Right?
I'm
Exactly.
totally
That's
fine
it.
with it.
That's it. Oh yeah. Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, it's that's gonna be interesting. Um,
Oh, something
what-
else. Speaking of Marvel, there was talk, and it's kind of died down because there've been no names attached, but there's buzz going around that Captain Marvel has been cast, and that whomever she is making a cameo.
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Well, I'm just
If it's a cameo or extra scene, I don't want to know.
okay. Then I
Okay.
then I say no more. But
Okay.
in a future Marvel project, because
Okay.
no, they're going to go back and re-release one from the past. Actually, they're going to point out
Oh.
a scene in the Winter Soldier where, hey, there she was. No, they're not going to do that.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, don't tell me the after credit scenes or anything like that. I want to be surprised with that kind of stuff.
Oh, I have
Um,
I know nothing about after credit scenes. Again, it's
Oh,
just
okay.
talk.
Oh, cameo,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. That's going to be interesting. I'd love to. Did they say who's going to play her?
No, they haven't yet. But that's
That's interesting.
and I think that's why this hasn't gotten any traction. Is that
Oh,
it's just
okay.
kind of a broad rumor. It's like, oh yeah, no, we have a person in this role, and they will be appearing in some sort of like vague thing here. So
Yeah.
and I think that's why it kind of lost traction because it was so vague.
Oh, okay.
But I'll be curious to see if that pans out.
All right, and Khan, the girl that's kind of the Miss Marvel now, I definitely think she's going to appear in the film.
I
Um,
think I think
They have
it's
to. She's such a cool character.
and that we'll touch again on that, I'm sure, when we get to comics. But
Well,
you know,
well, here's the thing. She leads that movie. Miss Marvel leads right into Immortal or Inhumans, and how can that not be an after credit scene with her running into her on the street, her favorite idol or whatever, and she doesn't even have to be like, the Inhuman Mist or anything like that. She just runs into her, and that's all. You just see her.
Fair enough.
The comic book audience would know who that is and go, "Oh my God, that's Khan, Camellia, or I'm messing that name up.
Kamala Khan, I think.
Kamala, yeah. It's I don't know. I just think you'd be leaving money on the table to not have that go into Inhumans, and it would be the perfect springboard to go, oh, okay, and then her kind of be involved with them.
Well, but also let's not forget, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has started to skew that way too now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, it hasn't been on a global scale. It's only been like everyone in that room, right?
Which is like 2 people. But they've dropped the hint that this is, there were these other what do they call them, diviners, other
there's
keys.
Like 10 of them.
And they were like, okay, yeah, we still have these, and then they're like, guys, this crate's a little lighter than it should be.
Right, yeah.
So it's
and
like
then they get the teleporter guy running around. I didn't see this week's, but I saw last week's.
Yeah.
And it seems like when everyone gets in a tough situation, the teleporter guy jumps in, takes them away, and he's going to start his own little team or whatever.
Well, it's building towards an actual Inhumans civilization, I think.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. I think. Yeah, I totally agree. Agree. It's going to be interesting. I really have liked the way Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has gone, especially like since the last half or the last quarter of last season on. Ever since Winter Soldier came out, it changed everything.
Yeah, and it's great to see how organic that change was.
Oh yeah.
How it blended so well, and you're like, hang on, wait, you get to this point, stop, go see Winter Soldier, then come back.
Oh yeah, and that is exactly what I told my friend to do.
Yeah.
He didn't see Winter Soldier when it came out, and then he waited a few weeks, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to catch up on this." And I was like, "No, stop at that episode and go see it." And he went and saw it, and he came back and he saw it, and he was like, "I didn't think this was even possible."
Yeah.
For
yeah,
them
I love it.
to just intertwine like that. It was great.
Yeah,
but
I mean that's.
Any other movies or TV show news you hear about?
Super Troopers 2 has been fully crowdfunded.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like we heard about this a few years back that they wanted to do another one. I guess they couldn't get a studio to get attached to it, right? So.
Yeah, something like that. And so eventually, what is it? Broken Lizard, the group, the troop, the whatever they are, decided, well, we'll throw this up on. I think they did it on Indiegogo, and they were like, okay. And then within they were pulling in like $100K an hour, essentially. And
That's insane.
Yeah, and they needed $2 million, I think was their goal. I think, and
I'm
they
sure they'll get that more.
They hit it. They hit it almost immediately. In the scope of like, here's something that we want funded over the next 30 days, and they hit it within like the first day.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of those movies where they don't need a lot of money to make that kind of movie. You just need good writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, they'll get their actors. It's all of them anyway, and those kind of films that it's just like the Kevin Smith films. Like all you need is good dialogue. Like when he's doing Mallrats 2, he's got the whole cast back. Literally, the entire cast is back for this film.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more excited about Mallrats 2. I've been saying that for so long. Like this movie needs to be made. Why don't they do it? Comic book movies are bigger than ever. TV shows are bigger than ever. Just show Brody getting so mad that everyone. I think I've mentioned this before, so I'll stop. But
no, you're absolutely right. Like it's the perfect spot for it.
And Kevin Smith could do the same thing because people want to see those kind of films again.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool. My buddy asked me, what do you think of this? And I'm like, why not? If people are willing to pay for it and show their support, who cares? Like, I think that's totally cool. And as long as you know what you're doing when you're giving them money and you're, then that's on you. No, hey, I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money, And I think that's super cool. And it just shows that there is an audience out there for it, and it's crowdfunded, so it's going to be nothing but a profit for them. So it's and then, if that means you like those people, they're probably going to make a lot more films. So I think it's cool. I think it's dope. Wish more people did that.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And hint, we're going to set up some kind of crowdfunding for this podcast. Hint. We have one other piece of we've got one other piece of movie news that I want to just drop real quick. The Metal Gear Solid movie has a writer now.
Oh wow,
officially.
that's cool.
Hang on, let me find it again. It's Jay Basu, but Jay Basu, maybe, I don't know.
Right, this is their throwing the pebble, like, oh, don't worry about Kojima over here. Pay attention to the movie.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But this was the guy, he wrote the sequel to Monsters, which was Gareth Edwards' sort of indie-ish monster movie. I haven't seen it. I can't comment on it. I don't know. But he hasn't. There really aren't any other credits for him. So I mean that's kind of like all that. But he's in big demand. Apparently everybody's really high on him. So I mean we'll see. Jordan Vogt Roberts is slated to direct. He did Kings of Summer, and he's doing the Kong Skull Island movie that they're coming out with. Next year, year after.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He's attached to direct that, so that project is still going forward. So there is that. They've been pitching this idea. Hell, Hader was pitching this idea a decade ago.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he wrote a treatment for it and everything. Like he wanted this off the ground so bad.
Oh wow.
But
yeah, no, I haven't been paying any attention to Metal Gear Solid. That would be a strange movie.
Well,
that would be a really interesting movie to see how they do that.
Again, in this world of comic book movies, this is more grounded, I think.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's definitely true.
It would absolutely work. It could totally work if it's handled at least halfway well. It'll do just fine.
Yeah, like I said, I've really only played Metal Gear Solid, and then when it goes beyond that, it loses me entirely. But the first one, it definitely was grounded. It'd be cool to see some of those characters on the screen. Yeah, and did you? I don't have that much comic news. I don't know if you do. Did you see All right, take 42. We just had a spoiler, and I shouldn't have. But Ninja Turtles. Won't talk about what happened in it, but something crazy did, and go read it. But yeah, no, it's that's kind of cool. I like it when books do that. We won't go into that. That is a spoiler. Did you? One quick thing about video games, real fast. Did you see the official extra characters they're putting in it?
No.
Oh, okay. They have. Let's see here. It was Predator, Jason.
We're talking Mortal Kombat now.
Characters, yeah, Mortal Kombat. I'm so sorry. And I saw that they'll let you sample the extra characters too. So there's probably like a time period where you can play as them and then it'll go away.
There's one of the game modes.
Okay.
That they're saying, we'll unlock them in this. I think is the way they're going to do it, but you can't do them outside of that. I think the Tower of Trials mode, I think, or whatever they're calling it. I think that's where they're going to let them, like, here you can use these characters here, but that's neat. That's an interesting way to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I saw that. It was the ninja guy that's brown and he does like earthquake stuff. I can't think of his name.
Oh, come on. I had it. I've been following this because I'm so waiting for this. I have like $12 left on my pre-order for it. I am so ready for this, and I can't remember his damn name.
Oh, his name is Trimmer.
Thank you. Of course it is.
Yep. When I saw Trimmer, I was like, wait. So the Trimmers from Trimmer is gonna be put in the what a character that would be.
That I will go to NetherRealm Studios and buy the first copy out the door if they were gonna do that. Are you kidding?
Right, I was like, wait a second, so you mean Kevin Bacon is going to be in Mortal Kombat? Like, how great would that be?
Oh, man.
Yeah, man, I think there's like 6 Tremor movies now. I think they've gone off the rails. There was one I saw where they flew in the air, and I thought, nope, this is silly, and it's now even sillier. Like, ridiculously silly. Yeah, but no, yeah, Trimmer, I guess he's an earthquake guy. I no clue who that is. I played Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3. Then I stopped playing Mortal Kombat games, but I always kind of defended them. Like when people talked about the fighting games they liked, I was like, no, no, I love Mortal Kombat, and they'd be like, wait, no, 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 like this is a real fighting game, and they would talk about I don't know which one, what I forgot what they're called, but like real actual fighting games, and then Mortal Kombat came back huge a few years ago, and I
Yes.
fell in love with it again. I was like, yep, 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 glad to be back.
Yeah, they're pulling some of the characters they're pulling from the comic that's running right now. And I think
Oh,
that may
okay.
be where he's from.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, him. One they have like a gunslinger kind of character whose name also escapes me, but he's from the comic I remember.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
So
I saw that they were, yeah, the person who was talking about it was like, oh yeah, it's basically Red Dead Redemption and Mortal Kombat,
yeah, pretty much.
which is cool. I mean, that's neat. But yeah, that comes out in a few weeks. I think I've pre-ordered that at GameStop. I've been buying a lot of digital games. I don't buy games at the store anymore, it seems. And I kind of like that I can just turn on my PlayStation and I'm like, oh, bam, I can jump from this, jump to that. I don't have to take discs out. And I almost broke a disc the other day accidentally, and I take really good care of them. Almost broke it, and I was like, what if I did that? Then I wouldn't be able to play that game again. And I keep thinking like, I really like buying digital now, where I don't even have to think about it. But so anyway, that's my little rant about digital.
Yeah, actually want to bounce back to TV for a second.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you see that Lazarus is coming to TV? The Image. This is the first Image property coming out of that big deal from what, a month or two ago.
No, I didn't. Well, I mean, it can't be the first Image. I mean, we have Walking Dead, but
Well,
what do
I
you?
mean, out of this new deal that they
Oh, okay.
struck.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Who? Wait. So who's the deal with?
Oh man, it was an Eastern company. It was an Asian company that I can't remember, and it was a what did they say? It was like an what did they say? 8 or 9 figure deal, I think.
Oh no, I
It
didn't. I
was
didn't know
oh,
this.
it was ridiculous. But like there were very few details. It was like Image and this company have struck a deal to produce. They want to be next.
Oh wow.
They want the movie TV synergy, and so Lazarus is the first property that they're pushing out there.
Oh wow. No, I didn't. I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, so let's see here. And I saw The Preacher is getting a lot of cast members. I don't have it in front of me, but I saw that that's going forward.
yeah,
And I
that's
think like Seth Rogen's producing that, right?
is producing and I think is he writing part of it as well? I
I
think.
think so, yeah. He's like a huge fan of it
Yeah,
apparently.
and that's interesting, and that's on AMC, right? I
Yep,
think.
that's on
Yeah,
AMC.
it's a good place for it.
Oh yeah.
That'll be that's a good home.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, especially what they're doing with The Walking Dead and everything. But no, I haven't read Lazarus.
Yeah, Lazarus is an interesting comic for anybody not familiar with it. The idea is that rich families have essentially an immortal bodyguard. They have more or less a Frankenstein's monster sort of AI fueled bodyguard in a
Oh
sense,
cool.
and they're called Lazaruses. And so it spins from there, and it kind of becomes it's almost like a like an organized crime book in a sense.
Okay.
You have this family and that family and so on. I
Oh,
only
that's
read
interesting.
like the first like dozen issues maybe, but it was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. I'm okay with this. And so when I saw they announced this was coming to TV, no network announced or anything, but just this is the first one out of the gate. I thought, okay, well
Oh wow.
that shows commitment. They're not saying, hey, we want to reboot Spawn. We're saying, no, we're gonna take this property, this newer-ish property, and we're gonna move that forward. So it'll be interesting to see if they decide to bring like the Harbinger Bloodshot kind of universe in next.
Yeah. No, I
That'll be
mean,
interesting.
Image has so many different comics they can pull from. I mean, if someone has the balls to take on Saga, that would be amazing.
It would fans would kill it. This is one of those
Yeah.
things that would never live up to expectation. This would be like, because Saga in a lot of ways is very Firefly-esque.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
and so many fans would kill it as a TV show because it can't do unless you stuck it on like Showtime, there's no way this works on something that isn't premium cable. There's no way.
Yeah, I was gonna say HBO. HBO would probably be the only thing Yeah, but you're right. Showtime. You know, it'd be a dope show. Morning Glories would be a cool show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, this is another one that it'd be well. I guess they're doing it with Powers, but I think Invincible would be a really cool show.
Yeah.
Like if it's done right, maybe Netflix or something like that. But yeah, no, they have some cool properties that you could totally see being made into movies. I know Witches. I don't think it's Image Comics, but that's a Scott Snyder one that was immediately picked up. And that's going to be a cool. Whatever they do with that's going to be amazing. But yeah, no, it's. I know I hear good things about Nailbiter too. That would be a really interesting show.
Yeah, I started reading. Actually, yesterday I started reading Southern Bastards, and that's intense.
Yeah, Jason Aaron, he's good.
Yeah.
I've only read about. I think I've only read the first issue of that, but I've been meaning to.
Dude, you have to read like the next 3.
Okay, yeah. No, this week in comics have been really light for me, but next week I think I'm good. I focused way too much on games this week.
That's all right. There's only so many hours in a day,
Right, exactly. Yeah, with work and everything else.
Yeah.
Trying to fit everything in, and then a few hours I just get either right before my shift or sometime in the afternoon. I get a few hours to pick and choose what I can do before I have to be busy again, and yeah, but yeah, man, I've been filling it with Bloodborne, and it's like I said, it's that love-hate thing.
Yeah,
it keeps me in, but I'm like, all right, I got to do something else. I got to watch something else. I got to go outside, and hang out with real people, and not do this anymore.
I know that's one. Whenever it finally shows up, like I, grab the popcorn. Give me a case of Mountain Dew. Like, I may crack open one of the last few surges that I have. And just say, all right, we're going to sit down and do this.
Yeah, no, I can't. That's why I like those games where you can jump in and jump out and be done in 15 minutes or 20 minutes and go about my business. And at the same time, those ones like Skyrim, they come every 7 or so years.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I dive in and I'm like, all right, everyone leave me alone for a month. And I actually save a lot of money during that time period.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like going out tonight, and then my bank account thanks me the next day. Yeah, it's when those kind of games come out like that, I save a shitload of money. And hopefully Witcher 3 is gonna be like that. But yeah, it's I was just thinking the next few games that are coming out. It's Mortal Kombat, Witcher 3, and what? There's not that much for a while, right?
Not really. We don't really
Batman?
Yeah, but they moved that.
Oh yeah, like June or July.
Yeah, I think they bumped it into, was it into June or out of June? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be that's more really all that's really on my radar really are those 3. And The Witcher 3 is one that's like when I get that from GameFly, it's going to be, I'll pick it up, I'll try it, I'll play it for I plan on that's one that's like you have to sink probably like 20 hours at least into before you can definitively say like, oh yeah, okay, this is a game for me, or no, this is not a game for me.
Right.
You can't just do. I ran into that with Dragon Age where I played like 2 hours and I was like, no, I'm done. And people are like, what are you doing? You went nowhere. And I was like,
yeah, that's exactly how I was. My buddy who he loves big RPGs. He loves Skyrim. He was obsessed with Skyrim. He did everything in Skyrim, and he's like, he's waiting for the next Skyrim to come out. And he played Dragon Age, and he was like, I like it, but it's not Skyrim, but I'm going to play 80 hours of it.
Yeah.
And he did. He beat the crap out of it, and then he sold it and traded in for, like, I don't know, NBA 2K15 or something. But he's waiting for the next Skyrim, and I'm like, I think it's going to be Witcher for you. I really do, especially with 200 plus hours. Get out of here. That's his game, and so that's going to be cool when that comes out. I'm looking forward to it, and I think, yeah. So it's going to be like Mortal Kombat, Witcher, Batman, I think, is on my radar, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. I want to get the new 3DS soon. I actually think I'm going to be getting it this weekend. I don't think I can bite the bullet for that Majora Mask thing, even though it'd be super cool. But I think I'll probably just get the regular one, and maybe I'll get Bravely Default. We can both talk about it.
Sounds good. Yeah, or
Yeah.
pick up a Pokemon. You can never
Yeah.
go wrong with a Pokemon game.
Yeah, no, that's my one that's my one weakness when it comes to video games is no matter how old I get, I gotta have the Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's tons of fun, and I don't care how much shit I get for it. I love it.
Or
It's
grab was it a Link Between Worlds?
yeah.
That's one that I've been playing
Well,
while I've been waiting on stuff, and it's old school Zelda. It's
that's
back
what
to
comes with that bundle. I guess it's Link Between Worlds, Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time like code you download, and the Majora's Mask game, and like a statue or something.
oh nice.
Yeah, and it's like
Then that's
300, and I
well
was
then
like,
that's
that sounds like it's worth it.
yeah, cause Ocarina is still what $50.
Right, yeah,
Link
yeah.
Between
It was the
Worlds
three
is
Zelda games, and I was
yeah.
like, that sounds. It just, I don't know if I want to throw that down all. I don't know. I don't know. That's too much Zelda for me because I'm not even that big of a Zelda fan. I want to get Majora's Mask because I've never played it before.
Oh, you're in for either a treat or a tremendous amount of frustration. Yeah.
Right, right. Well, let me take that back. I think I played a little bit of it, and it was totally confusing. And then I watched someone play it, and it was even more confusing. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, so he's a fish person, and he's finding eggs, and there's snakes? What? I don't. Is this Zelda? Like,
Yep.
I did not understand it. But it's cool. Like, the whole time thing, I think that's different. Um, but yeah, in Ocarina of Time, I used to own that. But I don't know what happened to it. I haven't played that in years, so it was it was one of those things like I'm getting two old games and a new game, and it's a lot more expensive. So I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm buying a new car. Oh, I don't think I said it, but I'm actually buying a new car in the next week or so. So that's gonna come first.
Ooh.
And then we'll see what happens after that. But it's it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I mean, like I said, not that much on my radar the next few months. But then we got all these movies. We got a ton of movies coming out next month and the
Yeah.
months after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a month we have Avengers. Think about
Yeah,
that. In a month we have Avengers.
yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. The one I'm super excited about though is at the end of the year. The big old Star Wars
Oh
at
yeah.
the end.
Oh yeah.
That to me. Nothing. And we got Batman. Wait, Batman Superman's next year, right?
Uh
They pushed that back, I think.
uh no. I
Hmm.
don't God, I am drawing a blank. I am so drawing a blank.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
do I not remember
There's
this?
no way it's this year. Yeah,
Well,
I'll look it up real fast. There's
maybe.
definitely it's 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, they pushed that back because all the stuff they were putting in it, and they don't want to go against Avengers. They don't. Yeah, it's going to be 2016 because it's going up against Civil War, and guess what's going to be in Civil War? It's going to be Avengers, and they're going to have Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So that it totally makes sense now why Marvel was like, oh, we'll just put Civil War out on the same day as Batman vs Superman. Everyone was like, oh, no way no way Captain America would beat those two guys, and now we all see why. When you can put Spider-Man, Iron Man, all of them in the same movie,
Yeah, when you're essentially gonna have another Avengers movie.
right? Exactly.
But
Yeah, it's it's gonna be interesting,
yeah.
but yeah, man. I'm not sure if there's any other news we still got in here.
We do have one other little bit of comic news. The
Okay.
all new, all different Avengers team for post Secret Wars has been revealed.
Oh, okay. Who's all in that?
The new Thor, the female Thor.
Okay. And
com-
who is she, by the way? Because I still don't think we know.
I haven't been reading. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't. I only read like the first two.
Yeah, I
Um,
still don't think. Yeah, I think it's real soon we find out who it is, but and they hinted it a while. It was. Well, I won't spoil anything, but yeah. I don't think we know who it is yet.
And we're going to have Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, is
Right.
going to be on the team.
That's cool.
The Vision will be there. Sam Alexander, Nova, will be there.
Okay.
Sam Wilson's Captain America will be there.
Okay.
There will be an Iron Man.
Hmm.
It may be Tony Stark. It may not be. We don't know.
I'm looking at a picture. It looks like a kid.
it does look like a smaller Iron Man suit.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering if maybe they're finally gonna call Arno out of the bullpen. Maybe, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, then again, if I'm looking, it looks about the same size as wow, my mind just went blank.
As Tony.
Vision, no, Vision.
Vision. Okay.
Yeah, like they're flying and it looks kind of, I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe it's just the way they're. And
And
then of course, right in
yeah.
the middle, Miles Morales. Now, who do you think they're going after? Whose hand is that?
What do you mean?
Hey, have you seen the picture? Is that a hand? What is
No,
that green thing?
that's which image are you talking about? The cover image?
Yeah, the cover image.
I don't see a hand. I see those are Sam's wings.
No, the green underneath him.
I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention.
Yeah, no, there's like a green. It looks like a hand, but it could be like a green blob thing. But it's definitely like neon green. Yeah, look that up. I don't know. It looks interesting. It kind of reminds me how like the old covers they were going after Loki or the Hulk or something like that. Yeah, if you look at yeah, it's definitely a hand. And it shows like yeah, you see the hand and then you see the shadow of a head. It looks like the Hulk, but like really green. But you can look that up. I don't know.
I'm trying to find the image real quick.
Yeah, all new, all different Avengers. They're definitely going after something that's green that has their hand sticking out. But no, that's cool. I mean, Nova. I love Nova. Obviously, I guess Cap isn't Cap anymore. I thought for sure they would switch that back after. So this is after the quote unquote reboot. That's not a reboot, right?
Right.
Right, so it's pretty much the status quo as it is now. It's the same characters. Nothing was rebooted. It seems like.
Well, no, because I mean, if that's the Avengers team, it's like, yeah, you have a Captain America, but it's a different Captain America. You have a Thor, it's a different Thor. You have a Spider-Man, it's a different Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think all they're doing is they're just putting all the books back to number one. This was an excuse to put Miles in the regular universe, and they've run out of ideas with the Ultimate Universe.
They ran out of ideas with the Ultimate Universe 4 years ago.
Right, exactly. And it was a way to kind of put new Avengers
and I'm all
on
for
the
it.
team.
I like having a new Avengers team that isn't an extra Avengers team. I am so tired of having to go through. Now, hang on. Was this person an Uncanny Avenger, a West Coast Avenger, a Secret Avenger, a New Avenger, a Mighty Avenger? It makes my head hurt.
Right. Yeah. No, the Avengers has definitely turned into the '90s X-Men, where they had a million teams. They're all on all of them. They're all interchangeable.
It's like, no, actually, they were one of the Great Lakes Avengers. That's what it was.
Right, Squirrel Girl.
Hey, man, that was a great. I'm glad they brought that back. So I was like, that's a character that, like, sure, why not?
Right.
Why not?
Didn't she beat? She killed Deadpool, I think.
Well, there's a shock.
Yeah, like she figured out that if the squirrel scratched certain spots on him, for a certain area, or I'm sorry, the squirrels could do certain things to him where his body wouldn't heal. It tricked his brain, and so he just died, bleeding out, and he wouldn't heal himself. I don't know, something like that. But yeah,
Okay.
it was in one of those like Deadpool kills Deadpool or takes on the Marvel universe or something like that he's always in. Yeah, I'm excited. It's like I said, I'm that's cool. I'm totally in for that. I love those characters. I'm interested to see what they do with X-Men and how they handle Cyclops coming out of this, because there's been so much backlash of him just being a dick. Like that's not the Cyclops that I want. Like I want him to be a good guy again, and taken seriously, but a good guy, not a dick 24/7. He's turned into Magneto, and I mean, not even Magneto is cool with that. He's like, this guy's kind of a dick. Was I like this? But
Magneto, meet your former self. Rick
right,
meets Shane.
Yeah. Right, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, it's what, 2 months away when everything does its thing, and
yeah. No, is it that long?
mean, last comic I picked up, it said like 2 months, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah, but I think it kicks in May. I think it kicks off in May, if I
oh, that's
remember.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so we got about a month left, and we can dive in head first, and I'm gonna try and pick up as many as that as possible so we can talk about it. And
Boy, you're welcome to them. Like I'm
yeah,
I'm gonna have the core issue, and then whatever like two or three,
piques your interest.
yeah, like whatever two or three Spider-Man ones there are,
Oh,
for
that
sure.
90s X-Men. Oh, I can't
Man,
wait for that 90s X-Men.
the rest of them are just gonna be once it's done, and I can sit back and say, okay, I know the story, I know the core of it, so now let's go with the spin-offs. And I know there was only gonna be, what, like 3 or 5 of each one, like Red Skull
Right.
and Planet Hulk and Captain America and the 90s X-Men and Spider Island and the
Yeah,
list
yeah.
is just, it's
I think it's
punishing.
cool. I really do. I think it's kind of a love letter to the fans. It's like,
Yes.
hey, we know that there's a lot of you that loved different eras and different people and different runs. Here's 3 issues of something that's going to get you. So
Exactly.
anyone who grew up with that X-Men TV show, I think is going to love that 90s X-Men one.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
when you say, here's this core story, and then here's all of these extras that are tangentially sort of attached but not necessary. That's it is a love letter to say, here's a look at the past and all of these different eras, and really that's what DC's Convergence arc is all about.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. It's basically going, hey, people, we hear you. We know that you liked the old DC stuff. Here's 2 months of it because this is when we were moving.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, it's like
and
we
we'll
don't
go back afterwards.
That's what's crazy. Like, I didn't know that until I read today. Like, oh yeah, we've had, like the Future's End world will be part of this, and Booster Gold hinted at it because of course he's been to every universe pretty much.
Right.
But like the New 52 doesn't. It has nothing to do with this at all.
Right.
And
And the thing is like we joke around about how Marvel copies DC, DC copies Marvel, but like I don't think any 2 summer events has been so similar, at least on the cover. Like
Yeah.
is somebody is taking all of the past stuff, putting it in a world or whatever. I mean, how's that even going to work? Are they going to have like fences on the side where hey, we can see you over there, Age of Hulk. Oh, hey, we can see you over there, Knight Rider Academy or whatever the
Yeah.
hell it is. Like,
Yeah.
are they going to be able to interact, or are they going to like it? To me, it's when you see both of these crossovers, it's like, wow, that's really like impending. Like that really is exactly what the other company is doing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see, what people buy. And I mean, I'm a total Marvel fanboy because that's just kind of what I grew up with. I love DC too. Like I said, I love Snyder's Batman. I read that every month when it comes out. And now, I actually have really like I've thought about going back and reading some Flash stuff because now that I know a little bit about it from the show and whatnot, it would be really cool to get in there and see what you're talking about what's coming up. So I might start reading some Flash. Justice League, it comes and goes. I like some runs, some I don't. I don't know. I've really enjoyed some of the old DC stuff, like Kevin Smith's Green Arrow run was really good, and some other ones I can't think off the top of my head, but mostly just Batman stuff. But I don't know. I'd like to get back into DC again. My books have only gone down to like 1 or 2 with DC, so it'd be nice to kind of jump back in there. But Marvel definitely has me when it comes to a lot of it. I like that it's not rebooting. I mean, I was going to be happy with whatever they did. If they did a new 52 kind of thing, I was kind of preparing for it and like, okay, this could be cool. I'm in. I'm down. Now that they're not, it's going to be interesting to see what the status quo is moving forward.
Well, I think it's not going to change. I think you've got what you're going to have.
Right, and I think they're on a level of, is the universe rebooting? No, but are we going to switch up every character and all the people writing them and doing that? Absolutely. And hey, I'm all for that. I'm all for writers on different books. That's important. Artists, switched around too, and new teams. And you still have the continuality. They can kind of patchwork. Then this is their real big chance to say what is what's the status quo now moving forward. Okay, Miles is in the 616. Great, let's move on. We're all in. No one's going to be like, I don't like this. Can he go back to that other universe that I really wasn't reading that much of because they killed everybody? No, everyone's going to be like, thank you. That's awesome. Peter Parker, the Marvel itself is going to get the best situation because they're going to have Peter Parker. He's also going to be older, and it's going to tell a new chapter in his life. I guarantee you they'll put him back with Mary Jane and they'll have a kid, or that'd be really cool.
I don't think so.
Well, let's do a gentleman's bet.
Okay.
I think that coming out of this, I think Peter is going to be not necessarily older, but he's still going to be older. He's not. I don't think he's going to go back to like a teenager or anything like that. I think that he's going to be older. He's probably going to get a lot more adult things like, be with Mary Jane, maybe have a kid. And I think that they're going to push Miles as the kid in high school. It's the best of both worlds. This is why they fought back in the day about what they wanted to do with Peter, because some creators were like, we need to push him forward. We need to give him a wife. We need to do this. And other creators were like, no, we need to make him young again. We need to make him, single. And it pissed off a lot of people. And I think this is the perfect way to go. We have a Spider-Man in high school. We also have a Spider-Man that's now an adult and moved on from that, teenage hijinks, nervous all the time. He's kind of grown up a little bit. And I personally would rather have that than him.
I will concede that because I don't think that means Peter Parker as he is now has to change.
No, not has to change. I just think his story will move forward from because like right now he's not with Mary Jane. He's kind of doing his own thing. They kind of took the rug underneath him for a little bit there, and now he's back to everything sucks for him. He can't do anything right.
It's that old Parker luck, man.
Right. I think that they're finally gonna let him tell different stories with him. They're gonna put him in situations. Give him a kid. Let him, give different things happen to him.
The last time they tried to do anything like that, they had to call in the devil and wish it away.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I
though.
know.
They were like, hey, we can't do this anymore. Let's change the status quo and change it back. Now they don't have to do that. They have Miles, and Miles can be the Spider-Man in high school and going through all that kind of stuff.
No, I agree. I do. I absolutely think that that's what they're gonna do. Miles is what is he gonna be now? Like 14, I think, 14, 15, somewhere in there. Like he's gonna be high school Spider-Man. Absolutely. Yeah. And Peter is gonna be college grad Spider-Man. But I don't think they're gonna jump forward in the sense of he has to be more adult-ish. I don't see it. I don't see him and Mary Jane and like Mayday. I don't see it because we still have Silk. We're gonna have Spider-Gwen. How that's gonna play in, because that's gonna be crazy.
We'll still have Ben Reilly, and I think Ben Reilly he'll be back. I mean, they hinted at that, at the end of the Spider-Verse.
No, Kane. You mean
Kane? That's it. Yeah. Kane, yeah. And
we still have Kane.
Why can't he get Silk?
Because they don't work that way.
I thought they did. I thought that anyone who he's a clone of Peter Parker, so wouldn't they just give off the same, pheromones or whatever?
You would biologically you would think, but when you start mixing in sort of the web mysticism with it, I think that plays a part.
Did they interact at all in Spider-Verse?
I'm gonna say no because I don't think they did. And I mean that was the thing, they never really addressed it. I don't think because
I could see them writing. That's what I'm saying is I could see them writing that into it, like, all of a sudden when he walks in the room, bam, same kind of reaction happens when she was with Peter, like,
I mean, I could see it happening. I could. That's a definite route they could go with. And let's not forget, we've still got Miguel back here. We didn't need Spider-Verse to have a dozen Spider-Men in one place. We already have that.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah, Spider-Verse was kind of ahead of the time with that.
Yeah, but I loved that. I think that's been my favorite event in recent memory, hands down.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah, all the timey-wimey stuff. It was just fun, and that's what a lot of comics need to go back to. That's why I like Jonathan Hickman, but I am excited to see what happens next with Avengers, and this last run has been way too much. It's too meaty. It's too. Wait a second, I don't even know. I think the last book I picked up, I read it, and then I read it again, and I read it again, and then I realized it was 50,000 years in the future.
That's the thing.
I'm like, what? I don't understand this. Who are these people?
Exactly. Like, I missed that one where it was like, oh, I don't know, like, oh, here we are in modern times, and here's the Illuminati all chatting about whatever. And then the next issue I picked up was like, oh, and now, one's being hunted by the other. And I'm like, wait a minute. What? Did I miss my exit? Did I?
I didn't understand the two Hawks. Everyone has a beard. I'm like, did I miss an issue? And everyone's like, no, they jumped ahead. And I was like, they didn't even say they jumped ahead.
Yeah.
Everyone has a beard. There's two Hawks for some reason. One of them calls him Doc Green. I am totally, I can't wait for this to be over. And then start over anew with the all new, all different. They need to change the name of that. Just call it Avengers. Like, you don't need all new, all different Avengers #1, Saga 1. Like, you don't need all that stuff. Just call it Avengers and #1. Bam.
Yeah, but you never know. There might be a different book that is Avengers. This may be,
Well, there was that period of time where, what was it? Michael Bendis did New Avengers. And it was starting that it was like it was one of those points in Marvel where everything was kind of restarting, and it was like, here's a great place if you like Marvel to pick up and start out in our universe and pick any book in it. And it was right around that time where it was New Avengers. That was when they first put Wolverine on the team, Spider-Man on the team. They had Sentry, which is a whole nother thing. But Hawkeye was right when Hawkeye was dead, but he wasn't because he was secretly on the team. And so that was a really cool point to start with Marvel. And I'm hoping that with this all new, all different Avengers and everything that comes out of Secret Wars, I'm hoping that that's another good starting point for everybody, where they can be like, you just have to pick up the first issue and go, okay, and it explains the characters in a few pages, and you're off. Yeah. You don't have to know, God, like, even for people who know comic books, because I like comics, but I am nowhere near the level that some people are when they know the history and the lore of it and the depth and everything. This last Jonathan Hickman one, I was so completely lost, and I wanted to go back to feel a little bit familiar and to feel a little bit like, okay, I get some of these characters. I don't want to say dumb it down, but like, let's make it a little bit more fun. And I can't tell you, like, Captain America changed his age in the middle of it. There's two Hawks. Iron Man's bad. Like, I was just like, what the hell is going on? I have no idea. And it's because I also wasn't reading everything. I'm, just like you, I'm in my 20s, and I get a few extra bucks a month to spend on either comics or movies or whatever. I kind of call it like my little nerd piggy bank, because I have a lot of other things I have to take care of, bills, and family and social life, and everything comes in, and then at the very end I'm like, okay, I have this much to spend on my kind of alone geeking out time. And when it comes to comic books, they're super expensive, and I have to pick and choose. And so when I did the Avengers and New Avengers, there was still a lot that happened outside of that I was like, wait, so Iron Man just suddenly bad all of a sudden, and there's two Hawks, everyone has a beard, and I was just totally lost. And Captain America is now old, so, and Wolverine's dead, so I was like, I don't understand any of this.
Yeah, like, I'm all for synergy, I'm all for the interconnectedness of a shared universe, but when there are 9 X-Men books, and in order to know what's going on in most of them, you have to read all of them, I'm sorry, I just don't even bother.
And see, that's the thing. There's a line. I think there should be winks, there should be nods, maybe one little mention of something. I go back to the Arrow and Flash. You don't have to watch both shows to get it.
No, but you should.
You should. You totally should. But if you just watch the Flash, it's kind of like watching a Pixar movie with a child. The child gets 85% of it, maybe 90% of it. but that rest, that 10%, those jokes they put in for you as the adult.
Yeah.
Those
Hey, look, the
innuendos
Pizza
and stuff
Planet
like
truck.
that. It's like, oh, I get that. The kid just laughs because they're all laughing on the screen and it's funny. But you as the adult, you're like, I get that little joke that they did about a Seinfeld episode or something. It's kind of the same way, and that's how this should be. The Avengers and the X-Men and all, like for example, the last run of Avengers, they should hint at things happening in other issues, not just expect you to totally understand it the second it happens, when Iron Man suddenly disappears and he's all evil, and when there's two Hulks all of a sudden, and oh, by the way, we killed Richard's son off panel, Franklin Richards, but yet he saw him in the future somehow. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
it totally lost me, and I am excited for it to go back.
Yeah.
To just
Yeah, I don't mind when that's an arc. When it's a planned, here's a big thing, you know what to expect.
Right. Not a year or two. Like
yeah, but when it's like
too much.
But when it's like, oh no, this one comic, like if you just picked up Amazing Spider-Man, you didn't need to read anything else. They would tip you like, oh yeah, here's, we see Miguel over here. Find out what he's up to in Spider-Man 2099 #4. But it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, they explained it well. I mean, they even talked about the incursions in Spider-Verse, but they did it in a way where they were like, oh wait, that planet, it's not there anymore, and we don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And that was it. And so, like, you as the audience, if you're reading anything in Avengers, you're like, oh, I know what they're talking about. But if you're not, you're like, okay, well, then something's happening that's a mystery, and then you move on.
I should jump over to the Avengers and see what's happening. No, you've got to go back 30 issues, guys.
Right, yeah, it's too much. It's too much. And,
yeah.
I mean, it's cool. That's how Jonathan Hickman works. I like a lot of his stuff. His Fantastic Four one was really good. It was fun.
Yeah.
But this is it was a little too meaty, so it's going to be nice. And like I said, their Avengers is their X-Men now, and that's what Marvel's going to put up, because of course that's their movie franchise they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not going to go full head on into X-Men, I think. I think it's silly when people are like, oh, they're going to cancel the X-Men and cancel Fantastic Four.
Well, except they kind of have canceled Fantastic Four, though.
They did, but they're bringing that back. I mean,
we'll see.
yeah, that's going to be interesting. But X-Men, they can't get away with canceling X-Men.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that is a huge seller, I think, in their comic world. Avengers, of course, is top billing for them, but it's their new X-Men. So you just see them struggling trying to get Inhumans. They're like, oh wait, no, we can make that the new X-Men, and they can't. It falls flat. To me, their characters are not as interesting, except for Miss Marvel.
Yeah, but again, I mean, Inhumans is another one that you have to have some lore going into it.
Oh yeah, it is kind of meaty when it comes to the whole.
And again, I'm okay with that, but do that as a restart. Start me back in on the ground floor, because Inhumans wasn't a thing for a while, if I remember right.
Right, no, it's not that popular. They tried to make it popular.
Yeah.
And then what happened is, after Infinity, they were going to push Inhumans big time.
Yeah.
And they backed out. And they issues didn't go out for 2 or 3 months, and it lost people. It lost me. I heard about it. I was like, okay, I'll pick that up. Didn't, because they waited way too long.
Yeah.
And it falls back to time and money, and there's only so much I'm going to put into it, and only so much other people are going to do it too, and you have to make your sacrifices here and there of what you're going to get, and there just comes a point where like, okay, that's not going to interest me, and there's only so much I have to try new things. And I'll be honest, I would rather try something from Image any day of the week, because you know that you're not going to get
something different.
Exactly, something different, and you're not going to necessarily be dragged along forever. That there's probably going to be an ending to that story at some point. Now, granted, Walking Dead is an exception to the rule, because that I kind of don't want an ending to. I kind of want that world to keep existing and just put new characters in it. But when it comes to stuff like Saga, no, I want an ending to that.
Yeah.
I like how Why the Last Man, I know that I can go pick up that series, and there's going to be a beginning, middle, and end to it.
And I will plug 2 books from now until the end of time: Why the Last Man and DMZ.
Right, exactly. See, I never read DMZ. That's another one on my list.
You need to pick it up. It's one it's what, like 80-ish, is 60 or 80 issues. I don't remember exactly how many. And then it's done. But it tells it doesn't rush, it doesn't drag. It's was it Brian Wood wrote it, and he killed it. DMZ is a magnificent series. When I first started it, I thought, when I picked it up, I was like, what is this? Why do I want to read this? Well, it's different. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I started it, and I was like, I'm in. I'm so in, and it never disappoints. It's one comic. The entire run never disappointed me. If anybody out there is like, I want to grab something, but I don't know what, go find the first trade for DMZ and dive in. I cannot, that or Why the Last Man. Pick one of those two. Hell, get both of them. They're both excellent stories. I love them both. I love Brian Wood. I love Brian K. Vaughan. They are awesome, and I am in.
Yeah, no, I have the first volumes of Why the Last Man, and I'm still waiting to get into that. And I know once I get into that, I'll love it. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, I will try newer things like that. Like, for example, Sex Criminals. I picked that up and loved it. And I don't know if you know what it is. It's like, this guy, when this girl orgasms, the world stops, and then she actually meets a guy that has the same ability, and when they find out they have the same ability, they decide to rob banks. So they'll get close to a bank, do their thing, the world will stop, and they'll start to rob banks. And, I won't say what else happens, but it's very interesting. And I know that sounds kind of like childish or whatever, but it's not. They do it in a really cute way. Like, they do it in a really good way that I could totally see this being an HBO show.
Well,
I could totally see them.
Somebody picked it up, didn't they?
I'm sure they did. I don't know, but
they
had to have.
I actually saw that. A week, was it been a week, 2 weeks? Give me a minute and I'll find that.
Yeah, and I mean, see, that properties like that and stuff like that I can get into, because I know that they're gonna go places with those characters that the people writing them, because they own them, they're gonna have arcs, and it's going to be more entertaining. They're going to put more into it that's where I think DC and Marvel, that's kind of their downfall. Even though they have super popular characters, they're never going to truly die. You're never, it would be beyond crazy if DC just came out and said, we're going to be killing Batman, and not like we're going to kill him and then he's going to come back in a year. His story's done. Period. We're going to do new characters. They would never do that in a million years. I wish they would. That would be great. But they won't tell that story.
I would agree with you. They wouldn't do it now. But if anybody remembers, they did do it decades ago. They took one of their big, and I won't say anything because it is a potential spoiler for some things that they're working on. But they did. I mean, it took...
And it's always a gimmick, though. It's always like, this character is going to be done, and then he comes back. Or it's like an Otherworld story where, like, Grant Morrison or someone will pick up a character and go, hey, let me tell this story. And then, a month later, they're going to have a Batman number 2, number 3. It's never truly going to kill. Like, Wolverine's dead right now. We all know he's coming back.
Well, sure, because there's going to be 4 of him included in different Battle Worlds arcs.
Right, exactly. And that's where I'm saying that these companies, that is their big downfall. And I think that's what kind of loses some people, where they're like, why am I buying this again? Where is this going to ever go? It's just going to repeat itself. And I'm not in that. I do enjoy, certain characters and whatnot and the way they're written, but that's where I think they have to tell a really great story to keep people, where Image, they're like, here's something new, here's something different, and there's going to be consequences, and then the book's going to end. Like Scalped, like with Jason Aaron. There was a beginning, a middle, and end. He told his story, and that was it. And you're not going to see another one.
Yeah. No, and it's at Universal TV. Matt Fraction and Kelly Sue DeCormick DeConnick are actually doing the adaptation for Universal TV.
So Universal TV, what does that mean?
It's a network. Universal has their own network, I think. They have. Okay. I know it's one of the NBC channels, but there is like a Universal TV network, I think.
Okay. I'm not sure if I get that or if I have to subscribe to it, but that's cool.
I don't know. I remember when we had Verizon, it was part of it. I haven't seen it since, but I haven't been looking for it. So, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I have Bright House, which is now, I think, Charter just bought them, so that
Really
sucks. Yeah, it's
interesting.
yeah, it sucks. I really like Bright House. I liked what they had, and now I just heard nothing but bad things about Charter. Just being, I was kind of in that field, and oh, it just sucks. But we'll see, we'll see. So that's cool. Yeah, I knew Sex Criminals was gonna get picked up. That is too good to
Yeah,
not to be leaving money on the table with that if they didn't pick it up.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, any other comic news you want to talk about or?
No, I think that's it. I'm trying to think what was this week's. We should have like a running segment of like this week in Battle World because there's a new, there's a new
Okay.
there's a new series announced to take place in Battle World every week. It seems like
Oh
they
wow. Yeah, we can do that.
because I mean we've had Planet Hulk, we had all the different. I mean Spider Island. Spider
Yeah,
Island
let's
was
let's on the next show. What we'll do is we'll just do like a segment of, and you guys are seeing behind the curtain here. You're hearing it. So, well, maybe we'll do a whole segment where we kind of talk about, we kind of briefly go over the different worlds that they're doing, the different issues, and what we're excited about, what we're like, okay, never heard of that, but okay, and we could start kind of there. And then, of course, when they come out, we can start talking about the ones that we're
yeah.
reading.
Oh, House of M. House of M was the one they announced this week.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think everyone saw that coming. That was pretty huge for Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a game
Big
changer.
time.
That's when you go back and you look over the last 10, 20 years, you get Civil War, you get House of M. Like, those are pretty big deals.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
just, we've got House of M, Red Skull, Spider Island, Captain Britain and the Mighty Defenders, Hail
Right.
Hydra, Civil War gets its own, Age of Apocalypse. I mean, there are pages, there are literally dozens of these. Where Monsters Dwell, there's one based on MODOK, there's one for Siege,
Oh,
there's
the Assassin, right?
yeah, there's a Spider-Verse tie-in, of course. I mean, we talked about Planet Hulk, and there's an Old Man Logan one. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And that's fine. I like that it's like, these are not necessary, but we're doing them because people love them, and, what the hell. And I'm all
Right,
for
and
it.
then I saw Deadpool has his own where he's like Deadpool's Secret War, like he has some secret mission.
It's,
And one thing I heard about Deadpool I didn't know, another thing of this happened after the whole Squirrel Girl incident, but apparently he was uh apparently he was cursed to be immortal. And so that's why now he can't die. Even though he does have the healing factor, he literally can't die on anything. He is the most powerful thing in the Marvel universe. But apparently he's going to die in Secret Wars. Or spoiler alert, he's rumored to die I don't know, in Secret Wars sometime soon. And they announced it like it was something Marvel said, like, we're going to kill off
I
Deadpool.
thought he already died.
He's already died, yeah, but that's the thing. We all know something's going to happen, and he'll be back a month later, and that's what happened. Like, apparently he died, and then he was cursed to live forever because he wanted to come back to life. I don't know. I
Gotcha.
really don't. I don't follow Deadpool, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know
And then
what
he was,
happened
and
with
then he
it.
was reincarnated in a Burt Reynolds pose. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
And the Ryan Reynolds has been tweeting like pictures of him in the Deadpool outfit. I don't know if he's the person in it, but
I would imagine so.
yeah, it looks cool. Like
It looks like Deadpool. I mean,
yeah.
I will watch this movie. I'm not
Yeah.
excited for it. Nothing that I see will ever get me excited for this movie, but I will go see it anyway. And
Right.
if it turns out to be good, awesome.
Exactly. That's kind of what happens with Fox and Marvel these days is I don't really get excited for their films and I'm just like, okay, that looks right. That tone looks right. The whole jokey thing he was doing, the outfit, the eyes, how they were different, different sizes.
Yeah.
It looked cool, and they nailed the tone. Okay, moving forward, like that's that they nailed that. So let's see what happens. And so I saw that someone tweeted him and was like, it's got to be rated R. Like it can't be PG-13. And he's like, believe me, that's all I'm saying every day to them is that we need this to be rated R.
And it absolutely has to be, just because it's too. I mean, you could get away with the childish innuendos anymore at PG-13, but it's too violent, and you can't damp that down, really. Like the spirit of it is the over the topness.
I know. And see, I'm two minds of this because to me, Deadpool, you can still be violent, you can still be witty. You don't have to be. I mean, it's really only the violence that is going to be rated R. You know what I mean? Like it's going
More
to
or
be,
less, yeah.
limbs coming off, and but then again, they didn't do that to Wolverine. Wolverine, they kept PG-13, and he stabbed everybody and cut arms and limbs off and everything else.
True, true. I
Yeah,
don't.
like and that's the thing. I mean, let's remember this is America where you can have a ton of violence and it can be PG-13. They had Jurassic Park where a dinosaur literally ate somebody and it was PG-13.
Yeah, but his guts weren't hanging out.
That's true. They don't have to have the guts hanging out. I mean, you're right. It's supposed to look like Kill Bill when he's done with them,
Yeah,
but
but it's we'll see. Because it
yeah,
could. You're absolutely right. You could get away with
it's
a
the
whole
potty
lot of that.
humor that it's like they can still have it potty humor and not be rated R. He just doesn't. He doesn't say the F word. He can say it once, and that's it. Like they did in the X-Men film. But it's gonna be interesting. I'm optimistic about it now.
I'm
I'm
not.
not excited. Deadpool to me is not. He is probably the most popular Marvel character right now, but he's not my most popular
Yeah,
Marvel
don't
character.
ever say that to a Spider-Man fan.
Right, no, that's true. But I mean,
No, I understand. Like Deadpool is kind of like the it character right now, and
he's the Wolverine
that's
of
fine.
this day and age.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's to me he's totally turned into the Wolverine. They have him. Deadpool kills Deadpool. Deadpool kills the universe. Deadpool kills the books in time or something. Like it's always Deadpool, and it's but we're running kind of long, so I think we can put a pin in it here, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of news by next week. And looking forward to next month. I think next month is we got the Star Wars celebration.
we have Age of Ultron.
We have Age of Ultron. Yeah, we have
we have
Comic
Dead.
Con. I think is next month. We have don't isn't E3 next month too?
No, no, my God, no. E3's not till June.
Oh well, I take that
And
back. I thought that was a
isn't
lot
Comic
sooner
Con
than
not until like June also?
what happened.
Isn't San Diego Comic Con also later? Isn't it a summer thing?
Let me eat all my words. Hold on a second.
Because I know I'm pretty sure E3 is June, and I thought Comic Con was like July. I thought.
Okay.
Now I may be wrong.
Yeah.
I may be entirely wrong.
E3's June,
Okay.
and I am totally wrong about everything I said today. Let's see.
Yeah.
Date.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know when San Diego Comic Con is, but I was pretty sure it was a summer thing.
Yeah, let's see here.
But yeah, I know E3's in June. It's that's one that's always kind of that month is always circled on my calendar, even if I don't have the right dates.
Oh wow, yeah, Comic-Con is July. I was so off. Why did I think I thought all of this was next month and I was getting excited. Excuse me. So, we just have Star Wars Celebration next month, but I'm sure we'll get tons of news and we'll be here to talk about it, and we'll start doing some segments. I think I actually even got an email, so we might read that next time. And
Really?
but yeah, so I think this is the close of the show, Captain.
Captain, 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 Captain,